All right, we are here with Anand Gomes. Anand, crypto options used to be a niche product for a handful of sophisticated traders. Today, 55% of institutional crypto investors use them, and the market processes nearly $9 trillion a month in derivatives volume. Anand, you saw this coming in 2019 when you founded Paradigm, the institutional trading network that now handles 30% of the global crypto options market. Anand, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
What are you seeing around the show? What's exciting you? What's interesting to you right now?
I mean, yeah, I heard you guys talking about the growing up of crypto, and I think that's a theme that's very, very like in your face in this conference. I feel like I've been in this space since 2017 now, and I feel like now this is the most grown up I've seen it in terms of the amount of suits I see.
But you're still not in a suit.
But I'm still not in a suit. So I mean, I like to think I'm one of the people that got in super early here.
Yeah.
And, for all the philosophical reasons, right? No, but I mean, I think this is just it is inevitable in that sense as the technology matures, the market matures. This stage of the cycle is inevitable, right? And for us to actually reach the rest of the world and truly be this global asset that really helps everybody in like a positive way, I think this is required. So I celebrate it. To be honest, it's like I like to think I keep my crypto roots, but I think this is a really good thing.
Sam and I were just talking about how the technology is taking us into the next iteration of finance, how it's solving problems that have existed for a long time outside of these walls here. I know that you were on stage this morning talking about vault-traded funds. My understanding of these funds is they're like the on-chain version of ETFs built on covered call strategies. But talk to us a little bit about the vault-traded funds, and I'd love to hear about the audience questions you got this morning about it.
All right, yeah. So that's the best way to explaining. I think vault-traded funds are what we would say is the on-chain ETFs. Now, the brilliant thing about these things is they're completely permissionless. Anyone can create them, anyone can deposit them, and these things can house any asset. So think of spot, perps, options, commodities, equities, all the different type of asset classes. And these funds are really tokenized portfolios, right? So we like to call them programmable portfolios that any investor in the world with $100 in a wallet has access to. And we really think that this is the next evolution of on-chain asset management, right? Traditional asset management, obviously it's great. It's multi-billion, even trillion-dollar industry, but there's still many issues. There's access issues, there's efficiency issues, cost issues. They're not as easy to access for the rest of the world. And I think a lot of those problems will be solved by VTFs.
And Anand, we're here at Consensus. A lot of people sort of make big announcements. I heard you guys were announcing that there was stuff coming out.
Yeah.
Would you give us a quick brief on what that was?
So we actually just launched the first Bitcoin VTF or Bitcoin Yield VTF, and this was possible because we also just launched options. And so effectively the strategy is pretty simple in that you deposit money in a vault, and the vault effectively collects yield by the operator basically selling Bitcoin options, right? And then once those options expire, if those options expire out of the money, then basically that vault, that option premium will be connected as the vault yield, right? Now this is fundamentally never been done before, at least at the scale that you see and the way in which it has been implemented. People have tried different variations, more simpler versions of this in the past, but it always ran into scale issues. Now, all of those issues are solved because of where the technology is in terms of what L2s can do today, what blockchains can do today. This was not previously possible. You can now have high throughput derivatives trading on chain, and that's what effectively make this possible. We're very excited by this because this now means that effectively there's not many things left that were in TradFi that are not available on chain, right? And now with the advent of these vaults, they become possible.
Anand, it's time to play a game.
Awesome, let's do it.
There are two paddles in your desk, if you could just pull them out. Our game is called Overhyped or Underrated for our audience that's watching at home. We give you a topic, you hold one up, and you tell us why. You got it?
Okay.
What color is yellow?
Underrated.
Okay, good. You're ready. You're ready to play the game.
Good, yeah.
All right, spot ETFs.
Spot ETFs, all right.
Okay, why?
Whoa, sorry, excuse me, underrated. I'm sorry, yes, I got that wrong. I think ETFs are fantastic. I think ETFs in general, even before the advent of ETFs, are just a fantastic easy, simple instrument for retail investors, people that don't want to have the burden of picking which stock that they want or whatever. They can just invest in a basket of diversified equities or whatever exposure that they want. So I'm a big believer in ETFs, and that's why also we built VTFs, because they just kind of extend all the benefits, but then make them unchained, make them permissionless, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
All right, Anand, prediction markets.
Ooh. Look, again, I think they're underrated. Like even now, I believe, look, prediction markets, I think I've best seen them described as truth machines. And I think right now it might seem that they are a bit sort of like overhyped. But if you think about where we're going in terms of what AI has created just so much information out there on the internet. It's so easy. The cost of producing information these days is basically zero. So if there's so much noise out there because of, or like low signal data that's out there, how do you help basically find the truth in this information? And I think the answer to that is prediction markets, right? So to me, I'm still a believer that these markets are still in their infancy. They might, yes, there's a lot of VC money chasing this stuff right now, and it might seem overhyped, but I'm definitely a believer in these things long term. So I actually think it's underrated.
All right, and the last one takes a page from Sam's book.
Sure.
NFTs.
Ooh,
Wah, wah.
All right. I said we were back 2 minutes ago. Clearly, I am wrong.
I think NFTs are, look, I'm big believer in NFTs. We actually have our own NFT collection, but I think the way in which NFTs have been implemented in the past has not exactly has done justice to what this thing could be. We implement them as very like loyalty-centric identity tokens, where basically you use it to reinforce loyalty and customer retention, things like that. Not just like, oh, this JPEG on a blockchain is going to be worth $1,000 tomorrow, please come and buy it now, right? So I think it really depends on how it's implemented. I think you can implement it in ways that can be really like positive sum, but more apparent, the way it's implemented right now, I think generally is not in that way. So I would say that they're definitely overhyped.
All right, and my final question.
Yeah.
In 3 words.
Yeah.
How would you describe consensus and how Paradigm is showing up at consensus?
Consensus, I would, I always associated with being like the OG name in this space. I still remember the 2017, 2018 one, where I think there was Lambos outside and things like that. So, one thing, fantastic production. I'm always impressed by how well you guys do things. And the second question you said is how
Paradigm showing here. How are people receiving you?
Amazing. I think we got a lot of really. I mean, you asked about the question which I forgot to answer. Is like after our event or after the panel discussion this morning, a lot of people came up to me, folks from TradFi, big names, asset managers, saying, "Hey, this is super interesting. I'd actually never thought of it used in this way. Let's talk." So for me, that's like opening doors. So again, I think amazing use of time and effort and energy.
And to me, that's what consensus is all about.
Absolutely.
Those conversations, the networking, the ability to have intimate conversations where you can really transform your businesses.
Absolutely.
So, Anand, thank you so much for joining
you,
us
guys.
today. That was Anand Gomes, co-founder and CEO of Paradigm.